Have you ever had questions for your realtors but didn't bother to ask it because you either have a crotchety old man or someone who you don't trust, so you just end up Googling it? Today we're going to take those questions, we're going to answer them, hopefully get to the bottom of stuff. Before we get to the bottom of it though, if you could head down to the bottom of this video and hit that subscribe button as well as the notification bell, stay up to date with all of our content, and leave us a comment if you have any questions that weren't answered or that maybe you trust us to answer instead of just Google.
Crotchety old man? Is that like a personal thing, like a reflection, or?
Do realtors work on weekends?
Well, that's actually quite funny. It depends whether you're starting your career or ending your career. Starting your career, you work 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. As you get later on in your career, well, you might have a tendency not to work so much on weekends.
My answer to this question has always been, and clients will ask us, like, oh, holidays will come up, what are you doing on the holiday? It's like, well, our on hours are usually everyone else's off hours, right? Because if you're busy working, you can't be looking for a house, but if you have time off, you're going to be able to be looking. So a lot of the times I find that showings happen on weekends more so, or like afternoons during like outside of the 9 to 5.
Whenever you're available. And as I said, with the Continental Work Week, Saturdays and Sundays are just another day.
It always comes down to when we're setting stuff up with clients where you'll ask them what time works, to do X, Y, or Z. And they're, like when you can fit us in. It's like, no, just give me a day and a time. I can move stuff around. Fortunately, with real estate, our schedules are flexible enough in most cases that whatever works best for you, we're going to be able to make it work at the end of the day. Do realtors usually give gifts? The good ones, yes.
I thought your presence was gift enough.
Ha ha ha. No. While it is usually going to help you out in some way, like we have buyer's boxes that we will give to our clients that have stuff that you'll need for your move and that sort of thing. The gifts don't have to be something extravagant like a buyer's box though. They could just be something as simple as a card. We had an idea that popped up into stuff that I thought was great, and all it was, you get a card for a buyer coming into a neighborhood, go to all the neighbors, and, have them write a little welcome to the neighborhood kind of thing. But it would probably mean a lot to families coming in.
Do realtors help find rentals? So it depends. The interesting thing is we got a call, and it was a friend on Facebook, or looking to rent his condo. And the agent that was in the area that they were friends with, and I'm not 100% sure if they've worked with the person before or not, but his first comment was, hey, I don't do rentals. So it's interesting, right? But the agent continued to say, well, I don't do rentals, but when you're ready to sell it, I'm more than happy to do so. Well, absolutely, we would work with people that are renting out a unit that they own. And on the other side, you never know if someone's coming in to rent, when will they become a homeowner? And who are they going to call? Are they going to call someone that takes that extra time and works with them on, an $1,800 or a $2,500 rental unit? You can rest assured that the first person that they're probably going to call is the person that got them in there if they enjoyed the process.
Yeah. Do realtors make good money?
Is there bad money? Do realtors need to know math?
If you're good at your job, yes.
Absolutely not. We have calculators.
While yes, calculators are helpful.
I can do math. I can multiply by 2.5% like nobody's business.
Do realtors know other offers? No. Well, depends on the position they're in. If you are the listing agent, obviously you're going to see all the offers that come in. However, if you are buyer's agent going in on a house that has other offers, you are by default allowed to know the quantity of offers, but not the quality. So you don't know the details. Now, recently there were some rule changes that sellers are allowed to, with written instruction,
Conveyances, yeah.
say that we are disclosing certain information about those offers.
And they can disclose anything about it.
Yes.
It's entirely up, anything from conditions to price to closing to whatever. It has to be conveyed by the seller prior to the offers coming in as what terms and conditions that they will allow the seller's agent to share with the buyer's agent.
However, buyer's agents then took and put in clauses that say if you share any information of our offer, the offer is null and void. I always found that funny with the new rules. I was curious to see how it was going to like turn out with people being allowed to like
Well, it's a different market.
say
now.
other. Well, but then, like I said, the buyer's agents are just like, well,
But not a lot of them know that clause. Do realtors do appraisals? Well, we do the same thing as an appraiser. The challenge is we can't call it an appraisal. They do 7 years worth of schooling, and we get probably 3 or 4 calls a week from appraisers asking us about the values of houses. Realtors can do what's called an opinion of value, which is the same thing. They'll take the active listings and sold listings in and around your neighborhood and give you a price from that. So as far as an appraisal, unless you're an accredited appraiser, you can't give that. Banks are starting to accept possibly a little bit more opinions of values from realtors as well. Saves a little bit of money possibly, but no, we can't do appraisals, but we can do the same thing called an opinion of value.
do realtors pay for staging? I feel like I say this a lot, but the good ones would.
Not a lot of agents up here pay for this staging where it involves furniture rentals, but a lot of them, the good ones, as Jacob says, will pay for the initial consultation for staging. We have a stager that goes in and she does a consult with our people and helps move a lot of their existing furniture. But to go into the rental part of it as well, to rent furniture, etc. Some agents actually do have an inventory of furniture, but and they do that themselves. But definitely they should be paying for at least the initial consultation of the staging. What you have to watch out for is if an agent is paying for the staging, ultimately it's going, like including all the furniture, ultimately you're going to end up paying more in commission because that money has to come out of somewhere. Right? If they've got furniture in a storage bin, etc., who's paid for that furniture, or how many times have they paid for it over and over again? They have to pay for the storage, the furniture, etc. So it'll probably go back to commission. You'll find that if an agent stages it and gives the furniture, that your commission is going to be higher. That's just a general rule of thumb. It's not carved in stone. I hold in my hand the last question. Everybody remember that? Johnny Carson? No, you're too young. Do realtors help with loans? Do realtors lend money to their clients? I'm sure maybe some do. There are cases where, but I think what that's referring to is loans with respect to mortgages. Do realtors help with loans or mortgages? Yes. Again, it goes back to who's your sphere or the people that you have surrounding you. We have wonderful mortgage people that we can refer you to, that we know, like, and trust, that we've done business with in the past, and we don't get a fee for that. Generally, the mortgage brokers that we deal with, again, they don't get paid by you, they get paid by the lender that they get the mortgage through. So the cool thing with that is that if you go to your bank, as an example, to get a mortgage, the person working behind the counter is going to get paid whether you get a mortgage or not. And it's happened to us personally where we're going to get a mortgage at X bank and they give me a rate. I go out and I talk to a mortgage broker, and right off the bat, my rate was 0.5% lower. And I go back to my bank and the bank says, oh yeah, sure, we'll match it. So there's no incentive for the person from the bank to give you the best deal, because it goes back to dividends and all that other stuff. But when you go to a mortgage broker, a reputable one, there will be no fees if you're an A lender. They get paid by the mortgage company, and they're working to get the best interest rate for you.
Yes, realtors can help with your loans in the sense that we can provide information. And we just, through doing business, are connected with people who are in the business of mortgages and loans and can help connect you with said people, as well as provide them with any documentation that they need about a particular sale or anything like that. The one that stood out for me, actually, it's funny because all of these questions were asked as if it was like a buyer or a seller looking for the question. However, one looked like it was someone who was interested in becoming a realtor and had a question, which is, do realtors need to know math?
That's why your sister's never going to become a realtor.
Yeah, it's like,
She says that herself.
But I think that's just a ton of people who are like, I could get into real estate. Oh, why do I need to math? Pocket sand.